This is
The Handbag Husband.
the Handbag Husband.
International.
Yeah, international. Do Hermèscapades. So obviously today we are here in Venice, and I wanted to take the chance to talk about some of the great bag candy that we saw at our first two boutiques. So that is in Milan as well as in Venice, because there is tons of amazing bag candy, and we're going to share that all with you in this video. Now, of course, if you like these videos, if you like the Hermes conversation, if you like the Hermes milieu, and if you like the bag candy, and this is going to be the bag candy video, don't forget to like and subscribe, because it does really help the channel to grow. And of course, we are so thankful for that.
Thank you.
But also because it means you get notified when our newest long videos come out, when our short videos come out, and really all the stuff we have going on the socials at Handbag Husband on Instagram as well as YouTube. All right, let's get to some of that bag candy. So first up is going to be a bag. I mean, it's a bag that's on my wish list right now. Of course, we just saw it. It was one of those things that you can look, but you can't touch kind of thing from Milan.
They say touch with your eyes.
Yeah, that's right. It says touch with your eyes, which is going to be the Kelly Voyage. So the Kelly 50 in a taupe as well as Togo leather with palladium hardware. And it is kind of everything that I hoped it would to be, right? You see it in person and you say, you know, it actually didn't look as big as I thought it would look. But
I feel like it's because you didn't try it on.
Yeah, if I had tried it on, I probably would have been like, this is really big and awkward. But it just kind of only reaffirmed what we had already been thinking and why it's on my wish list. So it's really cool to see there. And I think, interestingly enough, Milan had a lot. Actually, they had a lot of really big bags. And
It's
even some
pretty good bag candy.
Yeah.
My only complaint was not enough exotic.
Yeah. But they did have like some runway bags and stuff like that as well.
There's no dessert.
Desiree?
No, there's no.
Desiree? I know we're saying it wrong, but
there's no ray.
Desiree.
No, there's no ray. There's door, something.
So yeah, it was cool to see the Kelly 50 and to see it live and in person. But of course, you know, these are for display only and for kind of for locals only. And we're not locals yet. So next bag we saw was one that is something that we saw on the runway. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I have seen it at FHS.
Yeah, we've seen them,
but not often, like not at all.
I don't think they made very many of them. And I think they were kind of the bags to reintroduce like the big bags back into the bag conversation that folks have, right? And also kind of start to swerve some of those big bags towards maybe a more male audience than where previously they had been, maybe not so much. But this next one up was a Birkin hack, but it is a double pocket. So it has basically two Kelly straps to go around it. It was in...
two Birkin straps.
Or I guess two Birkin straps. It's in the color of black with palladium hardware. So, I mean, this one's really cool to see. It's a bit of an oddity. So it's kind of one of those things that are like the weird, it's exotic in its structure, but not in its material.
To me, it gives a vibe of like military bag.
Yeah, it has a military vibe to it. To me, realistically, seeing it, I like the size of it, but the redundancy of the two straps is almost too much because you're so used to that usually being the main focal point of the bag. Having two of them starts to like divide it up and kind of just makes it feel awkward to me.
I mean, one lock is already difficult to like navigate. Like now you get two.
I mean, no one ever really uses the locks, right?
Sure.
Usually you just see the arms just kind of flowing around. So now you have four arms flowing around rather than just two. So I think it was really cool to see, but I don't think I would pick it up if it was offered to me. I mean, I don't know. It'd have to be some hard thought on it because it's just a bag that looks so strange and it almost looks like it's too much, right? There's more is more as far as the Birkin goes.
Sure.
And that's not really kind of what, at least I look for in a large Birkin bag. The Trevi Fountain.
What Trevi?
The Trevi Fountain.
In Milan?
The Trevi Fountain.
This is not Trevi Fountain.
Now, to stick with the big bag theme, and again, Milan, all about big bags, and I am all for it. But they had another Birkin with just one strap, but it had a swift upper. It's blue, and then it has like the corduroy fabric on the bottom. I think it's tufelo. I don't know how to say it, but it's basically
almost like I have pants like that. I have a pants in corduroy in that color.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of nice to see the difference in textures. I always like to see like a leather and a fabric. Again, I don't know if I would get it. And we've talked about kind of the advantages of that. Maybe it's a little easier to clean. It's a little less stretchy, right? It gets a less slouchy or stretched out because it's fabric on the bottom where, a lot of the weight's going to be. So I think that kind of distinction between this smooth, soft, like supple leather on the top and the corduroy on the bottom, just a very interesting distinction. And again, it's in the right size. I just love the size of it.
So you think the corduroy is easier to clean?
No, I think that it'll get less it'll get less stretched out.
Okay, because I'm like thinking, a drop of water or like a drop of like melted ice cream and like.
Well, you could just put the bottom in the washing machine.
No, I think the four corners still.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're still leather. They have like little leather caps on the bottom as well.
Yeah. So no, that's not, you cannot.
Yeah, but again, I think what it does is it adds to what the Milan milieu is at the moment, which is the big bags, right?
Sure.
They have the strange, weird big bags. They have some of the cool, normal, standard big bags, and then they also have like the big bags that are kind of halfway in between. A variation on that. I think that's where this falls in. But for me, again, Kelly Voyage is exactly what I was looking for. So of course, looking at all the other ones, maybe they've been a little bit tinted by it because I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
So let me focus on the things on these ones that maybe are less what I want.
Yeah.
But it's still cool to see for sure. Now, to go along with kind of all the big bags that they also have kind of normal, standard size bags, which are
like
also
boring.
cool to see. Yeah, I wouldn't call them boring. I think boring is not fair. And I think that having them there only kind of emphasizes the difference of the big bags, which is this one that we saw, which is a Birkin in Epsom. I think it's probably like, what do you think the size on that was?
Either 25 or 30.
Yeah, probably around there.
Yeah.
It's like a mid-size with palladium. And the color on it, I think it's kind of like a white, vanilla-y kind of white. I don't know exactly what it was, but of course it was display only. And so I think one thing that I think is really interesting, and it kind of affected me throughout the rest of this trip, is after seeing all the big bags, when you see a bag that was previously a larger size or even medium size, they feel and look way smaller. You're like, oh, this is a 25 or something like that. And they're like, no. That's actually a 30. Or in some cases, I think even we saw like a 40. We're like, oh no, but it looks so much smaller. So, I mean, it was cool to see these ones. Again, I like the fact that you can have the contrast side by side, the light color and the normal kind of run-of-the-mill everyday bags that people would use, and then these large kind of novelty ones.
Sure.
And it kind of gets all the Birkin and Kelly's uses going.
I guess it's the cellier. You don't see that because it's like kind of newer.
Yeah.
So I guess it's good to see.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the cellier for Birkin because I feel like it's difficult to open and close and put stuff in and take stuff out. Yeah.
I mean, I think overall
it looks nice. Like it looks nice because it holds the structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and again, I think overall, like talking to SA, I mean, they have all kind of unanimously so far been like they think that the trend is moving back towards larger bags.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yes, the mini Kellys and all the mini Birkins were very popular. And they're still popular, right? Don't get me wrong, they're still hard to get. But all of the SAs are like, oh yeah, it's shifting back towards big bags. And I don't know. I know you have a different opinion, but I like that. I think it's a better chance
because
for us.
it works against me.
It's more competitive.
It's gonna work.
But they might produce more, maybe.
Nah, right. Not for you.
Yeah, not for me. All right, so finally, let's move out of the Birkin and Kelly section because Birkins and Kellys are nice, but so are Constance's. And I think one of the interesting trends that we're seeing right now is we're looking at dimensions. Maybe Hermes was thinking in the past that like we're gonna go from normal size to small down to the minis. They're gonna go on some of the Birkins and Kellys into the bigger, but now they're also doing a lot of elans, right? So they're like, you know what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make them longer, right? So you get these very kind of wide bags that are coming out. And maybe that's like the newer trend going on. And I will tell you, I kind of like it. Because in this case, we see a Constance elan in Epsom with palladium hardware. And I don't know, what do you think the size on that is?
It's only one size.
Yeah, oh, it's only one
elan
size.
Has one size.
Yeah. So I think the Constances, again, are not always our kind of core bags that we're looking for. But when you start to get them a little funky, I think that's when I'm always kind of like a little into it. So, I'd like to see what else they make in Elan. I think there's limits. They probably
There are
couldn't.
many. The Kelly.
Yeah, of course, there's a Kelly
I love
Elan.
that one.
Yeah, that's nice.
Really nice.
Yeah.
What else? Now I forgot.
Yeah, I think it'd be
There
very.
are many. Like I know there's like they did multiple ones. I don't know.
I think it'd be very strange though if they did like a Boldy Elan or something like that, right? There are limits to what Elans they could do.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of like the pochette Elans, right, or the GG Elans that are kind of elongated.
Yes.
Yeah, those would be really cool too. And we have yet to see any of the Elan ones in person. I think we've only seen kind of the more traditional dimension ones. So seeing the Constance Elan, it's interesting, and it kind of really reaffirmed what we had thought, that they are going longer. Longer is better.
Like,
yeah.
Like the iPhone. Like back in the day,
yeah.
you want to be like the tiniest phone, and like it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and now you fall, now it's like it can roll, I think that's like it's a.
And I guess it's a logical choice, right? What else can they really do? They can't really go wider. I guess they could go wider, but that might be strange.
Yeah.
But they can't go bigger because they're already going bigger. They can't go smaller. They're already going smaller. So longer makes more sense.
Yeah. Something clever.
Something clever. All right, so to go from the bags that are made interesting because they are large, and to move from the bags that are interesting because they are long, we're going to talk about another one that I'm always struck by, and again, it's not my style per se, because it just looks a little funky. It looks like a Ninja Turtles belt to me, which is, there's actually two of them, is the Birkin Shadow. So it just has the imprint of the notorious kind of Birkin outline on there, as well as the Birkin Shadow Cut, and both of them are in white. And the normal Birkin has palladium
like
hardware.
Creamish.
Yeah, it's like a white creamish,
like
a 70s white color to it. And again, I think that the nice thing about these is it's just something unique, right? You see enough Birkins over time. You're looking through, the online auctions. You see them in person. You see people carrying them around. And these are ones that always are just a little bit different, and it's those tiny variations that make all the difference.
I wouldn't get it, but like, it's nice to see.
I would consider the cut. Right, I would consider the cut, I think.
There's no place to hold.
Well, I mean, right now we're kind of looking at the GG as well, right? As we've gotten used to the Capa Veritage, something a little bit different in the kind of handheld bag. So, I mean, the GG is like that. I would prefer the Kelly cut over the Birkin cut, but Birkin cut Shadow is very interesting.
That's a bad choice.
Oh no.
That's a bad choice.
All right, so last up for Milan, and this is one that I think is really, really popular, and it's gaining a lot of popularity. Maybe because
they cannot get them in
yes,
Kelly.
that's what I was going to say, because you can't get the other ones, which is a Kelly pochette in a very light blue. Was it gold hardware?
You were saying like it could be blue jean, new blue jeans.
Yeah, I think it might be new blue jeans, but I know they have another kind of light blue that's not new blue jeans, and new blue jeans is the one I know, so I call everything new blue jeans.
My point is that I suck at colors, sizes, so like don't take our words for it.
Yeah,
but like this is all speculation.
Yeah, I mean it's super hard to know. I mean those are things that it's just so hard to eyeball each of those nuances, especially for folks who are into it but aren't that far into it so far. So I think that these ones are always cool to see, because when you see them at first, you're like, oh, this is just a normal Kelly, but then you're like, oh, something different about it, right?
There's no strap.
Yeah, there's no
feet.
strap, there's no feet, and the dimensions are different as well.
I think he's fatter.
Yeah, it's a little more rhomboid, as would be the word for it. I'm not a huge fan of this bag in the new blue jeans, but I think if it was in a normal kind of neutral color, a taupe, a black, a white.
And black on gold is always nice. Like,
something like that, or even a nice brown. I'd be totally into that. Of course, with the gold hardware. So this one, I'll be interested to see how much more often it starts showing up in the boutiques. And maybe if we're lucky, fingers crossed, and we can't get the other ones, might be something we would be willing to pick up. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think so. But it's super popular. I doubt it. I really highly doubt it.
It might be easy to get some of the other ones at this point.
For sure.
All right, so let's move on to Venice. In Venice, Venice, first of all, is a much, much smaller boutique. So they really didn't have as much bag candy. But the first one we're going to talk about is one that was hidden away.
It was in the room?
Yeah, it was in the room, and it's because, we got invited to the room to get some of the things that we got, which we're going to put in some of the other videos. Check it out.
I didn't want, maybe not like invited. He basically heard us in.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, all right, everybody, come on. You're going to go. Which is going to be a Birkin in the Hermes orange.
I think it's Hermes orange.
It's a road cold orange, if you want. It's the way I look at it. But it is in crocodile, and with gold hardware, and it feels very Halloweeny to me.
No, my point is like when it's in the room and it's in the box like that, it's almost like, it's untouchable.
Yeah.
For some reason,
it is sort of untouchable.
I mean, it is, but it's kind of add almost like a double security layer because it's in the room.
Yeah. It's a bag that only people who are invited into the room would see, and you really only get invited to the room. You're not getting invited to the room if you're buying Twillies or the sandals. You're getting invited to the room if you're buying
wink
something else, So it was cool to see, and again, in the orange,
I feel like
I don't like it. I'm not gonna. I don't like it, but it's cool to see.
I don't know. I want one bag that has an orange.
Maybe a small leather good I would take in orange, but a bag
would be a Kelly pochette.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Cute,
yeah,
right?
But do you think the gold is better or the palladium is better in the orange?
Gold.
I feel like the gold gets lost though.
Yeah, perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really cool to see, and it was a surprise because we had we looked at all the bags they had, and they're pretty interesting, and they have some interesting bags, especially some throwback bags. But of course, you see something like that, you're like, oh, this is something that definitely you want to put up there.
Gelato. Eat it.
Another one that we saw here in Venice. And
we saw.
And I actually like this one. I like it better if it was bigger. Like it's a little too small.
I feel like you're not gonna like it when you tried it on.
Yeah, maybe.
There's no way you like it on.
Well, I don't know if
maybe on me.
Yes, I'm talking about on you.
Okay.
It would need to be bigger, which is a Kelly Moove, Moove.
We probably pronounced it wrong, but like that's.
Oh yeah, it's probably Moove or something.
I don't know.
In what looks like, and it was hard to tell from the distance where we're at. It looks like maybe it's Swift or Evergreen. Because it is small, so it might actually be in one of those leathers.
It's smoother.
It's smoother.
Smooth leather for sure.
But it's green with gold hardware, and I like the fact that I like the shape on it. It has kind of a banana-y, like loafy feel to it.
Banana bum bag.
Oh.
No, banana bum belt bag or something. That's also the vintage one. So I think so. Don't quote me on it, but yeah.
I also like the current trend where they have like another little bag to go along with your bag. Right, so instead of just making the bag big enough to carry it, they're like, oh, we'll give you one, and then we'll give you another one.
It's like, this one is for me, this one for my dog. You know, like you're talking about.
That's right, yeah. And all you can have, like, I think as a practical matter, there's one thing to be said about having everything in one place. There's also another thing to be said about having stuff that you have on one side and stuff in another side.
For sure.
But again, I think this one's too small. But I think given the way things are going, and I think if it gets popular enough, they'll probably make a bigger one. They'll probably make a big or a longer one.
Sure. Then you get the Hackado.
No,
because it's crossbody.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Like
the Hackado.
Yeah. So yeah. But this one, we first saw it in Hong Kong. Remember? It was out on the display. It was red.
Yeah,
I think it was reddish.
Yeah. Check out our Hong Kong videos, by the way, if you want to see our Hermèscapades in Asia. And last up for today is one that I like, and I think that the Bishop Don Magic Wand would like as well, because it is both green and gold, which is a Constance in green in Epsom with gold hardware. And I know you don't like green, right? I know you don't like green. It's almost repulsive to you, but to me, in some cases...
Today, there were so many greens at Venice store.
Yeah.
Like many green.
Yeah, it feels like green happens
green,
to
yellow,
be... Yeah. It just seems like that's what is popular at the moment, or at least that's what they put out so far. And I think that as a trend, it'll probably last a little while longer, and I'm okay with it on some bags. And I think on this Constance is one of those bags that I really like the way it looks. Right? I think the proportions of the H.
Pretty good. Yeah. It with the contrast with the gold hardware.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So it's not, and I think this looks like the mid-size Constance. It doesn't look the largest Constance.
I think it's a mini one. It's 18. I think.
Oh, a mini one? You think it's a mini?
18 is a mini.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's not like, yeah.
But yeah, it was cool to see. And again, you know, it has a lot of strikes against it. If it was offered to us, it's got a lot of strikes against it. 1, it is green. 2, it's an Epsom. And 3, it's not available to us. So yeah. All right, so that's gonna be the main bag candy that we saw in Milan as well in Venice. And that's only half the trip. We still got 2 more like heavy hitter boutiques in Rome and Florence.
Hopefully there will be a bit
Oh,
of
dude, there's gonna be so much bag candy. Hopefully not too much orange, I'll tell you that. But stay tuned for that because we're gonna have a part 2 where we go over those 2 boutiques and what we saw there. So that's going to be it for our initial part 1 of the bag candies here in Italy from our Hermèscapades. And of course, if you like the Hermès conversation, if you like the Hermès milieu, and I mean, if you like the Hermès bag candy, don't forget to like and subscribe because it does really help the channel grow. And of course, we are so thankful for that.
Grazie mille.
Grazie mille. But also because it means you get notified when our long videos come out, when our short videos come out, and everything we got on the socials at Handbag Husband on Instagram as well as on YouTube. So with that, from the beautiful city of Venice, ciao, arrivederci, bye.